In the news tonight, Chris Gibbs sworn in as the new Minister of Housing, Lands and Maintenance. All schools ready for the reopening of the new school year. Over 200 police officers promoted. And in sports, defending champ Venom leads the list of players into the round of 16 for the Barbados Open.
The headline news is brought to you by National Transformation Initiative, shaping the Starbajan.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Good evening, I'm Lisa Broom. Thank you for tuning in. In our top story tonight, Barbados has a new housing minister. Chris Gibbs was sworn in at State House this morning, one day after Dwight Sutherland's sudden resignation. Deanza Roberts was there.
Family, friends and colleagues gathered at State House today as Chris Gibbs was sworn in as this country's new Minister of Housing, Lands and Maintenance. The St. Michael West MP thanked God, the Prime Minister and his constituents, promising to continue the work laid by his predecessor. He spoke of the need for attention to be given to the urban areas.
As the PM said, as the MP of an urban constituency, we all know that it is very important for them as well. And as the MP of St. Michael West for the last 3.5 years, officially, and 3 years as a caretaker MP, I have learned that well, that in the urban area housing is very important to the people. So I would like to continue the work that was laid before me and offer opportunities for Barbadians for affordable, resilient and dignified housing.
Gibbs was quick to caution that he will first review the ministry's programs before setting new targets.
I need to get my feet wet first. So let me get into the ministry. I will be having meetings with the Permanent Secretary and all the ministry officials. We will look at the programs and we will see what realistically we can offer. I'm not going to go in there and make any lofty promises that I can't keep. I think that honestly Barbadians want a ministry to give them good service. So that's one of the areas that I'm going to be concentrated on. People will know their status in terms of where am I on the list. I think that a lot of people don't know where they sit, and there's a lot of confusion, and they call the MPs a lot. Well, I have my application in housing for X amount of time, so that will be part of my mission.
He also pledged to involve small contractors in delivering solutions more quickly and efficiently.
Housing is very important in terms of so much more for the lives of Barbadian, in terms of crime. We all know that urban sprawl, and the Prime Minister has talked about this a lot, that in terms of the previous development, we've become too cluttered. And that has caused some issues, as I've seen, in the urban area. And I look forward to creating solutions that can tackle these challenges. And for the Greater Barbados, we can get more housing efficiently done, create innovative solutions to be able to crank out the houses quicker, and also in that process, to also support small contractors to be able to play a greater role in the building and development of this country.
Minister Gibbs now takes on one of the most closely watched portfolios in government, with expectations high for real progress. He replaces Dwight Sutherland, who resigned yesterday. Deanza Roberts, CBC News.
The repair and upgrade works at 47 schools through the Ministry of Educational Transformation's Education Technical Management Unit have been completed, and the ministry is giving the assurance these schools and all other public schools will be ready to be reopened on September 8th. Today, ministry officials and representatives from teachers' unions toured St. Luke's Brighton Primary, which was closed since last year to allow authorities to facilitate extensive remedial works. Rachel Agard reports.
$500,000 was spent to facilitate extensive remedial work on the St. Luke's Brighton Primary School. Technical officer with the ministry's Education Technical Management Unit, Jermaine Springer, says the school, which was plagued by environmental issues, is now ready to be reopened.
The works carried out at St. Luke's Brighton were inclusive of ripping out all cabinetry from timber, replacing it with PVC board. That includes the principal office, the nutrition room, as well as the staff room's kitchen. We also did extensive work to the walls, where we chipped the walls and we plastered the walls, and we also painted the walls with mold retardant paint. We also did tiling works to several classrooms. We reinstated electrical plug circuitry. We also did some carpentry works where we replaced termite infested doors, replaced it with new brace and bottom doors. We also did some works to the school's hall.
The entire plant was also power washed, repainted. Bathrooms were completely renovated, and an air quality test was done to ensure the plant is fit for use. Principal Debbie Bovell says after being away for 30 weeks, the 98 students and the teachers are ready to return.
This is a beautiful site. It is well ventilated. It is on a hill. It is prime location. And I know our boys and girls are going to enjoy a wonderful time here, learning all of the necessary skills, knowledge, and attitudes that they will need to function.
Second Vice President of the Barbados Union of Teachers, Andre Holder, says the union is very satisfied with the level and the quality of work conducted at St. Luke's Brighton.
We look forward to the start of the new terms come September the 8th, and we hope indeed that all of our members will be happy and satisfied with the work undertaken at the school.
Chief Education Officer Dr. Ramona Archer Bradshaw says all schools will be ready to reopen on Monday at the start of the new school term.
As we speak, we are ensuring that certain checks are being carried out. As you know, with checks, certain things may arise that you may have to address. But again, it is about being nimble and being able to respond to any challenges that arise. And this is all part of our education transformation agenda.
St. Luke's Brighton was closed on November 25th, 2024, and the students and staff were relocated to the Draxhall Pavilion, Ellerton Community Centre, and the St. Luke's Anglican Church Hall. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
An investment in the future. That's how incoming District Grand Master of the Allied Masonic District of the South and East Caribbean, Maurice Gaskin, described scholarships to 2 students during a presentation at the UE Cave Hill campus today. Mr. Gaskin said the initiative is part of the District Grand Lodge's ongoing social commitment to the Barbadian community. The scholarships are valued at $3,500 each and are awarded for a duration of 3 years. Trevor Thorpe reports.
The incoming District Grand Master says the future is bright for primary and secondary students. He announced today that the District Grand Lodge of the Allied Masonic Degrees of the South and East Caribbean had entered into a memorandum of understanding with the University of the West Indies. He said the scholarships to brothers Kijani and Kwame Daniel are made up of cash and laptop computers with engineering software already loaded in the operating system.
In addition to initial funds, we've also had advice from persons, like I said earlier, in the field, because the software engineering requires certain software on the laptop, which when we recognize, we just don't give only money, but we will try to get the tools in order to facilitate the young man who's going off to China within weeks to pursue this software engineering.
District Grand Secretary Major Alfred Taylor said the scholarships and assistance to students is an annual affair.
We're very happy to be able to make this presentation this morning of a laptop, inclusive of a bag and a printer that will assist the household in, getting themselves up to speed with all the things that they have to do to make the best opportunity of their academic opportunities. And we're very, very happy to be able to support the scholarship to the young man doing software engineering.
The Allied District Grand Lodge also made its presence felt, providing assistance for 20 students of the Eagle Hall Primary School preparing for the opening of the Michaelmas school term. Head teacher Amaria Prente expressed gratitude for the assistance and the support.
Thanks to the generosity of Grandmaster Richard and the Masonic brothers. They have outfitted 20 of our students, and this will help them to step into the new year with confidence. This gift is one that helps them to feel prepared, to feel valued, and to be ready to learn. And our priority here is mainly to focus on the students' well-being, their education, and of course, we just welcome any act of kindness that would help those children to strive.
The fraternal officials said a new charity is set to begin in the coming weeks. Trevor Thorpe, CBC News.
The Barbados Police Service has promoted 217 officers in what Commissioner Richard Boyce describes as both an achievement and a call to higher service. Let's hear more from Deanza Roberts.
The long wait is over. After months of anticipation, the officers of the Barbados Police Service were formally elevated in rank in a ceremony held at the police band headquarters. Commissioner of Police Richard Boyce says the promotion is an elevation to higher service. He says all officers should see it as an accomplishment.
You can tell your sons and your daughters and your friends that you have made that move, that achievement. Because persons in this room, I know, would have given up years ago, months ago, or even weeks ago. Because as it was mentioned on the 18th of March 2024, and because it was that length of time in coming, persons probably would have given up hope that it would come. But this afternoon proves that the occasion has truly arrived, and you can sit comfortably knowing that you have been elevated in the organization.
But with recognition comes responsibility. From mentoring junior staff to resolving disputes in the community, the commissioner said the new senior constables will be expected to lead with discipline and professionalism.
This is a disciplined organization, and there is no copping out of making such decisions. So being the senior constable in the organization tells you that you have to come to work each and every day. You have to make sure that persons under your charge make up their files. You have to ensure that the duties are flowing good and there's no gaps in the way you deploy your persons. There's also the aspect of it that you having to do double duties. That is, in the absence of your full staff member, you may find yourself doing the same duties as the junior person under your charge, and also doing supervisory work.
Promotions are retroactive from March 18th, 2024, a reminder that dedication has not gone unnoticed. Deanza Roberts, CBC News.
Coming up on Newsnight, calls to build greater resilience against intensifying risks in the region. Leaders from the Caribbean Catastrophe Risk Insurance Facility and the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank joined CAF, the Development Bank of Latin America and the Caribbean, and the Caribbean Development Bank in calling for greater collaboration to build resilience amid intensifying risks. The leaders have gathered in Barbados for the second wider Caribbean Regional Risk Conference taking place at the Wyndham Grand Barbados in St. Philip. Deanza Roberts has those details.
CAF's regional head, Dr. Stacey Richards Kennedy, underscored that resilience must go beyond physical defenses to include financial flexibility. She highlighted CAF's US $500 million regional contingency facility, which gives government rapid access to emergency funding and climate contingency clauses.
We know that when a disaster strikes, speed and precision matter. This is why, in addition to our rapid response humanitarian grant funding, CAF created national contingent credit lines for emergencies in particular, and our board approved a regional contingent facility amounting to US $500 million. This allows shareholder countries to access fast disbursing financing of 10 to 50 million US dollars for immediate response to restore basic services and even to support preventive action when an extreme event is imminent.
President of the Caribbean Development Bank, Daniel Best, is warning that economic fragility and social inequality are converging into what he called a polycrisis.
When children are denied access to quality, equitable education, their potential is stifled, and our future workforce is diminished. And when young people, women and men alike, can't find decent work in our region, frustration grows. Talent is wasted and innovation stalls. If any individual is excluded from healthcare, the cost is borne by everyone through rising public spending, weaker productivity, and declining community well-being. If women, persons with disabilities, indigenous peoples, and marginalized communities are locked out of opportunity, we lose the creativity, dynamism, and diversity that fuel inclusive growth for our region.
Chief Executive Officer of CRIF, Isaac Anthony, says an area of focus for them is the investment in youth who have aligned themselves to study issues related to climate change.
Since 2010, CRIF has provided $2.7 million in scholarships and internships to more than 410 young people pursuing studies and careers in climate risk, disaster risk management, and related fields, helping to build the next generation of leaders, making it the largest scholarship and internship program in the Caribbean. We will continue to invest in our youth. Our 20-hour DRF course that we roll out each year with UE that provides youth with 2 credits is testament to this as well.
The conference continued today with development partners working to design strategies that transform today's risk into opportunities for a stronger, more sustainable region. Deanza Roberts, CBC News.
A revolution is underway in Barbados' agricultural sector. Minister of Agriculture, Food and Nutritional Security, Indar Weir, says this development is expected to enable Barbados to achieve self-sufficiency in food production throughout the entire year.
Barbados cannot continue as it is doing agriculture in open field, and you would have seen that we have posted a new set of vertical farms that have arrived in Barbados with a team from Holland to start training Barbadian farmers to use vertical farms, giving us an opportunity to produce all year round, thunder, lightning, storm, hurricane, no matter what, we're gonna still be able to produce food.
And as the Yuletide season approaches, the Agriculture Minister says prices will continue to trend downward.
As we go into the Christmas season, you're going to get more pumpkins, okras, cucumbers. Price of cucumbers is also down as well. All of the things that we use locally, yam, price coming down, cassava, all of them.
An author and survivor of mental and emotional abuse wants her story to inspire others. Diana Benskin says from age 9, her home was wrought with all sorts of goings-on, and she never felt loved or safe there. The Trinidadian-born woman with Barbadian parentage says her upbringing is on account of her maternal uncle, Marcel Benskin, who was the only father she's ever known. Ms. Benskin wants those who are struggling to seek help, and she's invited all to read her book entitled Per Ardua do Astra, Through Difficulty to Success. She was speaking on TV8's Morning Barbados.
I suffered a lot of abuse at the hands of my biological mother, and it left me feeling, angry in the world and unloved, and it's just like I didn't fit in. Mm-hmm. And I sought therapy in my 30s because it's like I was just drifting and nothing was right, and I didn't feel okay. Mm-hmm. And I subscribed to, getting mental health, and not subscribe to the taboo of silence surrounding mental health.
Sports Night, brought to you with the compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL.
Sports time now. Damien Best joins us live in studio with the details. Good evening, Damien.
Yeah, good evening to you, Lisa. Good evening to our viewers and listeners. Well, defending men's champion Venom Griffith was in ripping form last night as he registered an easy victory when the Barbados Road Tennis Open continued at Orange Hill in St. James. Despite rain, which interrupted the schedule this week, Griffith returned to the court to advance to the round of 16, along with Dwayne Lynch and Azari Clark. Key matchups left to be decided in the round of 32 at Orange Hill. Venom Griffith in the blue shirt versus Shimon Weeks. A 10-1 lead for Griffith and building. Griffith had Weeks in a stranglehold and he seemed unable to find a solution. The first game over in quick time then. Just 5 minutes as Weeks looked bewildered on his way to the abattoir, holding a sow, 21-2. Weeks had one or two rare shining moments. This rally, moving the ball expertly, keeping Griffith honest before the defending champion commits the unforced error. Weeks spotting an area of weakness perhaps as he repeats the dosage. Griffith asked to come inside. That's into the advertising. Score at this point, 5-all. But that was all the fireworks Weeks had. No escape from another trip to the abattoir. Griffith reeled off point after point to record a 21-6 victory without breaking a sweat. He advances to the round of 16. In the night's final matchup, where the rain played its part, Azari Clark in the green trunks had to battle Mosai Williams. Williams keeping Clark on a shoestring diet, but going for the cross-court winner, clips the net. Clark answered immediately, little more pace, and Williams unable to elevate the ball. These two displaying that hunger and desire to go all the way. No separation just yet, 9-all the score. Fast forward, Clark with the lead. Williams orchestrating a fight back, moves in and earns the point for the aggression. But it never materialized and Clark would secure the opener, 21-16. Pressure on Williams to force a third. He got right down to business. Clark guilty of the unforced error. He had to work overtime, but Williams stuck to the mission and eased away with the second game at 21-19, meaning this one was headed to a decider. Rollicking start to the third game. Clark fit as a fiddle, moving around the court nicely, sits up for the smash, got it. Once he gained the edge, 5-3, Clark displayed fantastic touches to maintain the advantage. Weak backarm from Williams. After the turn, more of what the fans came to see, tit for tat. Williams going for the drive, denied. Game point now. Why not another exciting rally to close it out? Azari Clark sails into the next round with a 21-16, 19-21, 21-16 victory over Mosai Williams.
The Business Report, brought to you with the compliments of Republic Bank. We're the one for you.
President of the Caribbean Development Bank, Daniel Best, has issued a rallying call for the Caribbean to abandon piecemeal responses and adopt integrated strategies to confront risks threatening sustainable development across the region. He was speaking at the second Wider Caribbean Regional Risk Conference, which is being hosted by the CDB, CRIF, SPC, the Caribbean and Central American Parametric Insurance Facility and Development Insurer, and CAF, the Development Bank of Latin America and the Caribbean. Mr. Best stresses that countries cannot afford to respond to interconnected crises with disconnected strategies.
If we are serious about sustainable development, then equity must be our compass. Colleagues, as we confront the growing web of risk threatening our region, we must also confront the urgency for us to do things differently. We cannot afford to respond to interconnected crises with disconnected strategies. Too often, our development responses are fragmented, designed in isolation, implemented in silos, and misaligned with the complexities of the challenges that we face.
Barbadians and visitors shopping at Massey stores are now able to donate to the Make Change campaign. Massey is starting the new fundraising initiative by the Tourism Development Corporation, or TDC, designed to fund community and national development projects through small micro donations. The program asks shoppers at participating businesses to round up their purchases to the nearest dollar, with extra change going to the Make Change Fund. The campaign was officially launched at Massey Whole Town in St. James. TDC's executive manager, Jacqueline King, says the funds raised to the initiative will support projects in areas like public safety, heritage, and environmental protection.
So when you come to shop at Massey, you're not just shopping and leaving. What you're doing is that the cashier is going to ask you if you want to round up your purchases to the nearest dollar, and you can make a significant impact by doing that, an impact that not only benefits you, but it also benefits the entire Barbadians, because you look at the projects that the TDC does. You're actually contributing to enhancing lives, enhancing communities, and just round up and help us to continue the work that the TDC does.
Massey Stores donated $1,000 to get the initiative started. Marketing manager Natalie McDowell says the company is pleased to be part of the initiative.
We are the leading retailer in Barbados, and we like to lead by example. We always do our charitable initiatives, including the bag promotions, and we do sponsor other things across the island, including our Massey Foundation. So this was a no-brainer.
Sports Night, brought to you with the compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL.
We'll hand it back over to Damien now for the second half in sports. Damien, over to you.
Thanks so much, Lisa. Well, West Indies under-19s now trail Sri Lanka under-19s 2-1 in the Youth ODI series after losing the third match today by 8 wickets. Opting to bat first at the Coolidge Cricket Ground in Antigua, the home side were bowled out for 138 off 39.2 overs. Irashiro Fontaine led with 51, that included 7 fours. Vignesh Sharwan Akash took 4 for 19, and Shamika Hirotrana 4 for 33. In reply, the visitors got home on 139 for 2 off 22 overs. Viran Chamutha struck an unbeaten 64, while RJ Gittins took both wickets for 30 runs. The fourth game of the 7-match series is set for Sunday. Well, Barbados will be represented by a 3-member team at the World Athletics Championships this year in Tokyo. Double world 400-meter bronze medalist Shade Williams will headline the list after making the entry standard of 50.75 when she clocked 49.83 seconds to finish 7th in the Olympic women's final last year in Paris. Joining her will be 400-meter hurdler Tia Adana Bell, the reigning women's knockout champion who made the grade via her world ranking. And rounding out the team will be sprinter Karan Griffith in the men's 100 meters. He ran a qualifying time of 10.18 seconds at the recently concluded knockout championships in the Bahamas. Dr. June Cattle will double up as team manager and coach, and the 20th World Athletics Championships will take place from September 13th to 21st. Barbados' most capped netball player, Latonia Blackman, was the toast of her own community last night as she was honored by family and friends for achieving a major milestone in the sport. The 42-year-old Blackman is largely regarded as the best netballer the country has produced for several decades. She announced her retirement from international netball at the conclusion of the recent ECCB OECS series, becoming the first player from Barbados to earn 200 national caps. During a brief presentation and ceremony in Valerie, manager Denise Morgan described Blackman as an extraordinary player.
Latona is a fantastic player. She gives of her very best whenever she's on court. And I think she takes pleasure in as Carl mentioned, making circles around the defenses when she's shooting. And if she goes to defense, then she makes circles around the shooters. Latona is a very versatile player. I think she has played every position on the court for Barbados and for her club by extension.
Blackman said when she started playing, she never envisaged registering 200 caps.
I never expected to achieve 200 caps. As my father said from earlier in my netball career, I was not back from New Zealand within a week that people start telling my father, if I don't play for such and such clubs, I would never ever make another national team. And I said to my father, my mother started this club in British Hill. All of my family and just stay with the club, so it would be hard for me to leave and go and make somebody else's team proud when I could stay with the team that my mother built and make them proud.
And that's news for tonight. On behalf of the entire team, thank you so much for tuning in. Good night.